COPE Chairman MP Sunil Handuneti walked out of the committee meeting held in Parliament today, advising the members to appoint an interim chairman. The Committee on Public Enterprises or COPE met at the Parliamentary Complex today to discuss amendments put forward by a group of committee members to draft report of the COPE Chairman on the controversial Central Bank bond issue.
The COPE committee met in Parliament today as well as when we discussed the report drafted under my chairmanship. While one group of members unanimously approved the draft report, the UMP group had continued to include amendments to the report. In the end, the group had also attempted to influence the Auditor General to change the conclusions that he had reached. As noted in the draft report, these were not my conclusions. These were the conclusions of the Auditor General in his report. Such a request cannot be made, and I informed them that it should not be done, and that if they were not in agreement, their opposition to the sections they are not in agreement with can be noted in the report. There can be other documents and the other information put forward, but the Auditor General's conclusion is the conclusion drawn following an audit. I could not continue to function as chairman in such a backdrop, and thereby I notify the members to appoint an interim chairman of their choice and draft a report the way they want it. I took this decision with responsibility. I do not have a need to find anyone guilty or not guilty. Justice must be done in terms of the funds of the people of this country. The only matter we are looking at is whether this transaction was carried out with minimal harm to the state and the central bank. We are not doing this to safeguard an individual. I cannot remain there in a situation where they are attempting to influence the Auditor General to change the conclusions reached in an audit. They can appoint a chairman of their own and compile a report the way they want to do it. They can put forward the recommendations they want. As the chairman of COPE, I am duty-bound to present a report to Parliament. I am prepared to table a report they compile, but I cannot remain in the committee while they draft a report the way they want it. Therefore, I got up and left. I sat in the committee from 10:30 this morning to 5 o'clock in the evening. Over many days, I worked honestly in the committee along with the office and the Auditor General who carried out their duty. There was no interference. I must specially note that if the Auditor General is accused of presenting a politicized report, that is a serious issue. Not only Gamni Abesundara as an individual, we have responsibility to safeguard and uphold the office of the Auditor General of this country. The Auditor General extended his assistance to COPE and Parliament. None of us can belittle him. His opinion cannot be belittled. If they are not in agreement, their opposition can be noted in the report. I left the committee meeting because I could no longer accept what was happening.